right, everybody. Everybody. I think there's like one person here, but that's okay. I'm gonna start a little early because I forgot. How can I forget? My Flyers are playing in Montreal tonight, and I'm really hoping Mishkov has a good night so that we can put together all this Hudson Lane crap. But yeah, so hey, go Flyers! Even though they've been out of playoff contention since the Four Nations tournament. And people, if you haven't watched the Four Nations tournament, you need to go watch. You need to put it in historical context that the Kachuk brothers are just MAGA twats, and I rooted for Canada the whole way because I'm just sick and tired of all the crap going on down in DC. So it was nice to see some good people win the whole thing. All right, so I got a crap load of stuff on my desk. I'm just gonna do like maybe a quick half hour. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing some lights, and I am. There we go. Get the hat off. So this is an interesting piece of terrain. It came with the exploded tank. It's from a pipe set I get from Creative Miniature Designs. Got a whole bunch of pipes, and I've had other things from them. My black spray paint can was ending, but anyhow, I drilled out a bigger hole there and there, and I put a wire through that actually is just a 3-volt battery pack, so I'm gonna have to cover that. And I've been playing around, and the thought process is that I can't remember if I left this on or not. We'll find out. Thought process is I got these shrink tubes on here because I'm going to solder it up. I don't want the leads to touch. Nope, power's off. Now I'll set that switch, and I probably can't see it on camera. I haven't soldered these because there's another component that needs to go in here, but I will do something where, come on, there we go. You can see the light's flickering now because I can't hold it steady. But the thought process is to take this diode, which came out of a one of those flickering tea candles. Got it backwards. And it has a flickering program built into the diode. So I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's not dude down. Anyhow, later tonight I'm going to get these two diodes. I'll have a warm and a bright, and the thought is I'll take some fluff like this, shove it in the hole, and it'll look like it's on fire. But before I can button everything up, I've got to get that set. So that's another project. Bob's Electronics. Ooh, all kinds of fun hobby stuff. Now, I just said it not to do it over. See if I can find them before the dog does, because she's been in a chewing mood. So, last weekend, we built this little dude, and I've got it mostly painted up. I need to come in and paint the black on the, or the tire color, like this color. I just gave up on it. Probably hit these with gunmetal. And then once I get that painted up, I've dropped some wash into some of the vents and around there for some detail. You can see it, yeah. I've got some of the control panel painted up. I've seen black seats, I've seen brown. I'm going with brown, I'm going with field gray. And once I drop some acrylic wash in there, then I will end on the headlight. I'll probably hit it with I haven't decided if I'm going to do a traditional gloss coat with enamel, or if I'm just going to come back with the wash. The enamel is nice because you can take it off with thinner, and we got that. It still needs the handlebars, but I wanted to get that detail done, and then I'll glue these on in place. Did the barrels up, and this is the driver. He sits in it like he's looking backwards. It had a tow cable, or not tow cable, like a tug line. So that needs to be chipped and needs some silver parts. A lot of the ME 262s had this as a pull bar, tow bar. And then the barrels, one has a fuel pump, and there's a toolbox. Again, these have got to be finished painted. There's little detail things. But there was a fourth dude, and for the life of me, I'm like, what the heck? I glued them up, and there's no instruction. They're like, you don't use this guy, just throw it out with all the other stuff. I could not figure it out. And then I started looking online, and I saw this guy is not the pilot. He's like a ground crewsman who sits inside whatever airplane's being towed. I think he's in the Tamiya 148, Focke-Wulf 190. And so this arm is actually holding the cockpit, push the cockpit open, and this one's on the outside, and he's sitting in a seat, and it kind of slants him, so he's sitting like this in the airplane, looking at this dude who's driving the tow machine, right? So they're kind of making sure they're going where he wants them to go. So I haven't decided. I'm going to keep them both. Like I said, this will not work for the 190 because it's a tail dragger, and this would only work on a tricycle arrangement. It's pulling on the front wheel, the nose wheel. So probably there's an ME 626 in my near future. Some other stuff I've been doing. So for Gaslands, I found this tube dude. Like if you've ever seen the used car lot things, painted that up. And then I got some resin that I've never played with before. I always get this space gray, like that color. It's clear, completely clear. And so this guy, I've been playing around with that. And the first one I made, I cured him like I normally do, and he turned kind of yellow, but a little bit of clear coat, and he came out okay. And yeah, I know, he's blue. I've been playing around with, I forget which one, it might be this guy right here, this Tidal Wave speed paint through the airbrush, trying to keep some translucency so that, again, maybe I can run a light up the bottom, have him like he's lit up. I'm not sure it's going to work, but they're fun. Little things. I also have another project along with those flickering lights for the start line where it's got a couple things, pipes. It's got a little vent, so it's just a parabolic shape. It's 100% clear, but this is just a toothpick shoved in there. Oh crap, I have to get that out. Anyhow, this takes long to print, but it doesn't take any resin. And what it's going to do is going to allow, when the light lights up, it'll light up the whole thing, and it'll just shine. And I did not get that resin. It's still kind of fresh in the center there. May have to give it a quick cure tonight. Anyhow, that's just some stupid stuff I've been doing. I printed out this. It's a flying stand for another project, but this piece doesn't really fit what I want. It's nice that it articulates, and you'd have to glue it in place. And I have a design that I've been working on for, if you know the story of Charlie Brown and Franz Ziegler, I have Ziegler done mostly. So I'm gonna have him, you can't really see it, but the pilot in there, actually I cut his head and turned it so he's like looking this way, and the B-17 will be flying here. So I got some flying stands that I want to have them in flight as opposed to wheels down as I normally do. And so one of the things I did, I went back to this dude. I think it's a homegrown dude, Prop Blurs, and they're really cool. They are, I haven't taken them out, but they're photo etched, and I have an old Hawker Hurricane that I had at one point on a diorama, and it fell off, so it's chipped. Very dusty. I found them in a box almost. But this is kind of how it works. When you paint him up, it looks like he's flying. So, like I said, Franz, his aircraft has functional 3 prop spinners. I think the 17 has two functioning, one at half power and one off, leaking oil, feathered. So there's going to be some fun. I haven't started to 17 yet at all. Yeah, I got some 3D printed lights. They're going to go. I made a practice while I was just playing around. Some terrain, a billboard. You deserve the best. Rutherford Logistics. Yay! Again, piece of terrain to go around. This time I put them as uplights and I painted them green. This billboard here is gonna have. It's more like a. We plant it in the ground. It's gonna have. I don't have the billboards, but Mars and some other stuff. I started with a rusty color on the back. If we get some time tonight, I'll probably throw on some cheapo craft acrylics and get the rust or get the metal look, and then it's gonna be all rusted up and goobered up. But anywho, yeah, burnt Cybertruck. That can be a piece of terrain. I have another one. Yeah, this one here. I actually built the whole thing. Threw some guns on the top, but these aren't actually attached because they're gonna come off, and this is gonna get fired up too, and that's gonna be, I don't know, crashed up somehow. Maybe all rusted up like Cybertrucks. They rust. They're a piece of shit, just like Elon Musk. So hey, if you're Elon Musk fan, you don't like it, unsubscribe. I missed the questions. Did you learn to paint yourself? How did you paint your miniature with a clear base? I'm not sure what you're talking about, the clear base. You're talking about, where'd you go? My little tube dude. That was 3D printed. So it doesn't really have a clear base. It's clear resin. And just through an airbrush. Yeah, my painting has been started hobby back into hobby 2003 or 4, and had someone show me the basic, base coat, wash, and dry brush, and I did that forever for Warhammer. And then when I got out of that, I got back into modeling. I just watched some YouTube for some suggestions and all that good stuff, and started to come up with my own style. Really, this airbrush has been a game changer for me. Just laying down smooth coats. This is like my second airbrush, maybe my third. I started off with some cheap Chinese junk, which I suggest. It's trash now, so I always like to kind of crafty. I can't paint 2D stuff like painted canvas or any of that to save my life, but three-dimensional objects I do okay. So let's see. Yeah, we got a little bit of time left. Trying to think what I really want to get working on. I'm not really sure tonight. Tonight I'm kind of scattered. Let's do this. These little critters are gonna sit over there. I'm gonna sit over there. He's gonna go there. What I like to do for tire color, because I don't like flat black like most model kits call out for tires flat black. I don't see tires as black. Where's my black guy? I start with black. This is what happens when you clean up your desk. You can't find anything for like a day. And like I said, I should have been better prepared, but I was starting to watch the Flyers game, and they scored their first goal, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get down and do some, just do some modeling. This forces me to get into the modeling part of it. All right, hang on. I said it forces me to get into it, but I'm completely unprepared. And I got the cat and the dog down here today, and they both are just pains in the butt because they don't know what to do with themselves. I had a company orientation today, so it took up most of my day. Dang it. Well, this is just kind of I'll start with the dark Panzer gray. It's not really black, but that's okay. It's close enough because I end up mixing my own stuff. So then I'll take some sort of little brown color. And what that gives me, that's my cheap brush. kind of gives me like this rubbery black color. All right, let's see. That's the colors I like to use. Get the readers on because I can't really see anymore. And this brush is totally chewed up. These were good brushes. I'm hard on brushes, and I'll be the first to admit it. So one of the things I need to do is work on getting a new set of brushes. And this detail is really, really tiny, so this might not be too brown. That gray. Yeah, I don't think that gray. I'll do what I want to do. I gotta find my black. Drawing camo gray. You would think black would be standing right out in front of you. It's always on my bench. But I have not been at the bench for a couple of days. So, the question is, did I put it someplace where I normally would put it? This might be a short live event, folks, if I can't find my paints. German gray. And if you knew me in real life, I am organized to a fault. Except when it comes to my hobby. There's something about hobby that I get into it and I just forget to do the basics, like, you know, everything has a home and a place. There we go, that's a better color. That's already looking better. Kind of that dull rubber, worn out rubber color. And this is gonna be on the eastern front, so it's gonna have seen a lot of service life. I am not following your question there, Bob, other than I will glue things to cork or use blue tack, or like these pliers that are pinch the release, the whole miniatures. Games Workshop makes a miniature holder. I rarely put things on a base to start with. I like to paint my bases separately on miniatures, unless they're integral to it. And then other times, I'm gonna have to come back and touch this up. Other times, like 3D printed fantasy figures, like, let's say, like this dude here. So, base was printed separate from this dude. I ended up gluing him to the base and painting him, so that I could have the scenery on the base just butt right up against him. I still have to do the rims, but yeah, he was glued onto a piece of cork that I use as a handle to paint, and that's how I do it. It's not the most professional, but you gotta do what works for you. Find your own method. Now this is one place where maybe I should have followed the instructions suggestion of pre-painting these. But I think what I'm going to end up having to do is just get it in place and then come back and touch up the desert yellow, the Dunkel Glebe. There's no way I can be neat about this on this tiny little road wheels. And on tanks and stuff, I usually do keep the wheels off, but this was one piece. Like everything was together. If you remember, except for these two sets of wheels. And at the time, I'm like, why am I painting the back? Like you can't see the other half of that wheel, that road wheel. If you can hear the cat in the background, she wants to go out. Yeah. Miss Mirabelle. Just give me a couple minutes before I go back up and watch the hockey game. Yeah, this is not going to be the neatest paint job. I'm just going to lay it on there to get it where it needs to go. Then I'm going to come back and touch up my yellow. I think that would be easier to do. Plus, this may end up getting some light war camouflage, like the generator piece did, which I don't remember if I did that on camera or not. I think I kind of showed it, but that video, since I need to write the script for it, and probably get that read written tonight while I'm watching the hockey game and enjoying an adult beverage. And then tomorrow after work, or before work, I work late. I just switch my schedule. I get to close again. I will start the recording and then editing. I've got like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so 3 days, pretty much afternoon into the evening. But at least the Monday and Tuesday I get out at 7, so I'll still have time to get some stuff done. So my goal would be to try and get the movie completed and upload it, I don't know, next Wednesday, next Thursday. I'll have fun doing the base, that can go out. So yeah, and that'll just be finishing up the 109. That was too long in the making. I enjoyed the challenge, but it really, next year, it's just gonna be something I do on my own, on time, not live, on a live stream, because it really kind of screwed up my analytics and my timing. Alright, this looks really horrible, which usually means I'm rushing. Just gonna. And I also saw an example online that these little caps were black. So I'm gonna give them a base coat here. Right. I may touch them up with some Panzer Gray. I said, I think I lined it out. I think that will be. Oh, I gotta dry. I'm not gonna bother doing the inside of the wheels because you're not gonna see them. Although I do want to get all the track links. So I'm short of dark shade, so when I come back with the gunmetal, in fact, and I highlight them, it'll show up the bright spots of the gunmetal where the paint on the links has been worn off from use. These are some really cool little all-terrain vehicles. Alright, that guy's gotta dry. And once that dries, I'll come back, like I said, do my touch-ups, and then I've got the handlebars to go on. Let's do something completely different. Put this all back in the N scale railroad lid. And I got those on the railroad. I got film some stuff tomorrow too for that. I got an op session before work. Hello, Birdie. Birdie's the dog. Well, let me show you my collection page, by the way. Oh yeah, I think it's Kettenrad or something like that. I forget the exact German pronunciation, but yeah, I usually say Kiddenrod, and that's completely wrong. But this is the thing. I'm gonna work on that offline. So, and thank you for the awesome channel. I don't know if it's an awesome channel. It's just me fiddling around with my hobby. So let's see. We've got nickel in this metallic color here. Cheap stuff. And it's almost black, and it almost goes on black. I'm gonna try brush. This brush, I love this brush. It's a cheap artist brush from Michaels. I do everything. I do metallics with it and everything else, and it gets cleaned 4 or 5 times a day. So for like this thing, I think what I'm gonna try and do, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it on camera here because of the way these, there we go. The center portion, I'm just gonna, so like the brown, which is just armor brown, and I think I threw a little bright light red into it to make it less brownish color. Just want to make it like it was just metal and now it's just rusting. So I don't know if you can see that. And this is the back side. And it's Gaslands terrain. The cool thing is I thought I had some buds that wanted to come over and play. Now I don't know if they gotten busy, they lost interest. But I tried the game in the past. I enjoyed it. I don't have anyone to play. So I'm gonna do it as a solo adventure. And the nice thing about solo adventures, like I do with Forbidden Psalms, is I can build a terrain as immersive as I want. But I also will post pictures on my blog, and I like it to look really cool because I don't know, maybe I'm prideful that way. So there's just some quick, see if it, you can see like where it's to be metal, and then of course I'll come back and hit everything with some rust and corrosion powders to make it look really disgusting. And so there's no real rhyme or reason to this, right? It's just an old billboard that's just rusted out. I'm almost done with this paint. I'll give you kind of an overview. This I-beam's got to get a little bit of silver on it. So just hold with me for a second here. It's like I had this Gaslands, right? They had billboards. I sliced them down, and the idea is that, like a billboard, right? They don't put it up. Well, maybe they do now. It's one sheet, but back days of yore, these would go in this way, and so now you can actually have the gaps. I can fold the corners. I can really muck it up. I think that's gonna be cool. And I got another one for the other side. It just says something about traveling to Mars, a new beginning. So eventually that's where that's gonna go. So I do have to do something with this back panel, and hang on here. I like this nickel. This nickel is super bright. You probably can see the difference in the palette already. This still gives a nice shiny-ish color, this gunmetal. And I got a mixture of PVC and wood because I ran out of PVC. The PVC was not mine, it's my ex-father-in-law, my now deceased father-in-law. It was in his workshop. He built remote control cars and boats and things. Mostly I think he built them so he could blow them up. He seemed to run them a couple of times, and then the joy was, can I sink this? Can I crash it? Can I stick a big firecracker in it and just make it blow up? To each his own, I say, to each his own. So let's try it. I'll show you the difference here. This nickel color is super bright. And what we're going to do is go across the top here, like the framing. I have this, I think, I like this faded blue. I think everything's gonna be, this whole thing's gonna be done in faded blue. A lot of, I did the green before. A lot of like the Pennsylvania Turnpike from Pennsylvania has got green paint. But like in the city of Philadelphia, the bridges are blue. Betsy Ross is green, but two new ones, Ben Franklin. And the Walt Whitman are painted in this powdery blue color. And so when I think of infrastructure, it's either rusted or it's this bluey color. So that's what I'm going to try and maintain the look. I don't know if you're getting this on. And this is more like an overbrush. These are just popsicle sticks glued on the foam. Like I said, I don't know. I've filmed some of it, mostly with pictures. So it may make it into a movie. May make it into a movie on my hobby channel, Twitch 65. The other person's watching this. Anyhow, so now what I like to do is just mix the two to make gloppy, disgusting color. And this is the fun part, right? Just muck it on there. Because most of this should be covered up by the billboard printing. But if I've got gaps, I want metal to show through. Torn down, I want the metal. So once I get this on here, it dries, I will probably throw some rust effects on here as well. So there you go. One side, two side. I'll come back and clean these up. Let's get this out of here real quick. Use up the paint. Yeah, this has all got a Mod Podge mix and then spray painted. I got a new bottle of black, flat, black. And that really helped. I like that. I like that better going this way. See if I can correct this before it dries. And again, it's great building stuff for a dystopia world because nothing has to look fresh and neat. If you make a mistake, you just say, I meant to do that. And I think this post. All right, guys. I think that's it. Like I said, I've got an adult beverage waiting for me. I got a yippy dog that wants to go out. And I got a hockey game to watch. I want to see if Mr. Michkov can, I forget the kid's name on. I like to see him to win the Hart Trophy there for Rookie of the Year. And this all get some more painting. I get some free time during the week. So I need a lot of I said this is gonna be a quick one. Yeah, metallic paints are pretty cool, man. Dude, somewhere to paint. This is an old desk down in the basement. The wife's got her hobby crafts on one side. I got mine on the other side. You can get yourself a nice, cheap, like wax or plastic tablecloth. Throw it on a table. Even if you have to clean it up, just get 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Practice makes perfect, like they say. Anyhow, I hope I'm saying it right. Kitston, thank you for watching. Anyone else who tuned in, chatted in, sees it later, thank you for watching. And everybody has a good Saturday night. Sorry it was a short one, didn't have much to build. I'm kind of in between models as I get my model railroad up and running. And I'm building terrain for Gaslands, and my hours at my part-time job are picking up. Looks like it's gonna be like 20, 25 hours a week, so that kills me, man. Yeah, no problem. I'm trying to make this a weekly, hey, what have I got on my bench playing around? Who knows, maybe one day we'll go into the garage and we'll just run trains for 20 minutes. Anyhow, hope you had a good night, and that's all she wrote. Thank you, everybody.